Most guys panic the second they're alone. Silence hits and boom. They need friends, noise, dopamine, whatever the fuck, just something. Because God forbid they sit with their own damn thoughts for 5 minutes. But then, there's the other kind of man. The one who disappears, not because the world rejected him, but because he looked at the world and said, "You're all idiots. I'll be in my cave building something real." He's not lonely, he's loading. He's not isolated, he's upgrading the software while everyone else is running Windows 98 in their brain. This isn't the victim's isolation born of rejection. This is the victor's solitude, chosen as a weapon. The group chat calls it ghosting. Your aunt calls it worrying. The crowd calls it missing out. Translation: you stopped performing for them. Most people don't fear being alone. They fear meeting the version of themselves they've been avoiding. Silence is a mirror with no flattery. And the philosopher who nailed this before the internet even existed, Arthur Schopenhauer, he put it brutally.
A man can be himself only so long as he is alone.
He lived it. He withdrew from the circus, not to vanish, but to think. And thinking is how you become someone the world can't puppeteer. So let's get into what actually happens when you choose the cave. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. The world tells a story about the ones who stay home, and it's a cowardly fairy tale. He's hiding, he's depressed, he's missing out. No. What rattles people isn't your supposed loneliness, it's your independence. When you're always around people, your identity becomes a rented suit. You borrow jokes, tastes, anger, victories, whatever keeps you in the club. That's comfort, that's safety, that's also control by everyone else. Withdrawal doesn't make you less, it makes you undiluted. Crowds drown clarity, noise kills thought, constant people equals constant compromise. Step away from the circus and the signal gets loud. Your thinking sharpens, your values harden, your time becomes yours again. 2 lives, same age, same job. One lives for loud nights and louder opinions. The other keeps a ruthless morning, reads, lifts, sketches goals in a battered notebook, and gets to work. Which one is calm when the market wobbles? Which one is clear when relationships get messy? Which one still acts instead of reacts? You already know. And that knowledge makes the noisy ones uncomfortable. That discomfort shows up as scorn. They label you weird because you won't sync to their emotional thermostat. They gossip because they can't reproduce your discipline. They accuse you of missing out because your silence reflects their avoidance. You become their mirror, and they don't like what they see. All right, here's what actually happens in the cave. Not as escape, but as strategy. Cut the noise and you don't disappear. You solidify. Your brain stops being a jukebox for other people's opinions. Your dopamine stops being a casino ticket. Your life stops being a reaction and becomes a construction site. Most wake up and plug into the hive like unpaid interns in a society they never applied to. News, trends, group emotions, hijacked by 9 a.m. The outlier plugs into himself. You start noticing patterns, impulses, and your real desires. The ones buried under what you're supposed to want. Clarity exposes everything. Who drained you? What distracted you? Which dreams were never yours? Look around. People aren't tired. They're overstimulated and underdeveloped. Quiet flips that equation. It slows the world down so you can speed yourself up. Now, the part everyone pretends they understand. The return. You don't stay in the cave forever. You isolate to return transformed. At first, nobody notices. How could they? You're not posting transformation selfies. You're too busy changing. Then one day, you show up, and the room tilts. You speak slower. You think sharper. You don't rush. You don't chase. You don't need. Your presence says, I don't need oxygen. I brought my own. People sense it before they process it. Confidence without noise. Direction without announcement. Calm without effort. You listen, Not because you're timid, but because you trained in silence so long that small talk scans as static. When you do speak, 3 sentences cut through chaos and solve problems. That's the difference. You become a mirror. Validation addicts flinch. Attention dependents shrink. Those who never sat alone with their thoughts feel naked. They can't box you anymore. You outgrew it. You didn't find your place. You became your place, and that's the quiet threat of sovereignty. You choose your world, people, habits, environments. You stop asking, where do I fit? And start declaring, what aligns with me? They fear outliers like that. Not because you shout, but because you don't need to. Here's the final truth about solitude. The one most avoid because it's brutally honest. Solitude isn't about being alone. It's about discovering whether there's actually someone in there with you. When the world shuts up, your mind starts talking, and it says the things you don't want to hear. You've been coasting. You've been pretending. You've been performing more than living. You don't know what you truly want, only what others told you to want. Most run from that voice into distraction, validation, consumption. A few stay. They don't drown it. They answer it. They earn certainty. Not arrogance, not fake swagger. The still, unshakable kind that comes from actually meeting yourself and building what you met. Schopenhauer understood.
A person who loves their own company has already defeated half the world because they've won the war inside.
After that, everything external is footwork, not warfare. So here's the question you can't outsource. When the noise stops, do you collapse or do you command? If you're walking the quiet path, let them misunderstand you. Let them fill the silence with their assumptions, while you fill it with discipline, thought, direction, power. One day they'll say, where the hell did you come from? And the answer will be simple. From the quiet. Let's rock that wisdom!